Hey gang, I've been doing a lot of studio renovations around here. In the past, I'd have 1 or 2 amps up, and if I want to change something, I gotta crawl behind the racks and unplug stuff. And if I'm working quickly, really, it turns into a huge mess really fast. And then I figure out where things are plugged in and which inputs and outputs, and it turns into a huge disaster. So 2018, cleaning everything up. So everything got really nice and tidy, and I was looking for some sort of, I have the rack, so why don't I put it to use with some sort of switching and that. So I talked to Dave Friedman. Actually, I picked something, and then Dave said, really? That's the one you picked? It's like, maybe you should look at this, and gave me some pretty compelling reasons why. So I ended up with the Ampete, which is awesome. And I didn't think it would be that awesome. Hang on. Gotta pick. Yeah, I think it's gonna be life-changing. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so this is the Ampete. They do make a smaller one. In all honesty, it's enormous. 2 rack spaces for a switcher was on my cons list. Also, there's 8 amps in, 8 cabs out, which seemed a bit crazy until I started hooking stuff up and realizing, like, no, I actually do have a lot of inputs I could use here. So there's a whole array of ins and outs on the back. So you actually plug your guitar. Here we go. Let's clean that up a little bit. You plug your guitar into the Ampete. That's where it goes first. Well, I'm hitting pedal board into the Ampete. Now this will distribute your guitar signal to whatever amp you have plugged into the back. So it's basically like a guitar patch bay. So my amp 1 is here. It's got cool lights. And that's set up for my Friedman. I have 2 cab settings right now. I have a real cab, my 412 set up. I'm also going to set up maybe another 1 or 2 cabinets out there. And then I have the 2 Notes Torpedo Studio on the B set, which is super cool because if it's really late or I'm just trying to figure out a part and I don't want to play it at 1,000,000 dB while I'm totally clamming up like crazy, it's really nice and it sounds pretty good. So, I've got the Friedman here. I only work in mono, so the next up is I have 2 slots for amps that are going to the VHT. I have the Demeter going into the left side of the VHT, the Matchless going into the right. I have the Triaxis going into the 290. That's setting amp 4. And then amp 5 is the Soldano going into the other side of the 290. And I can swap those out. I don't mind unracking something if I have to unrack it, but there's so many options here. It's ridiculous. And then there's all the channel switching, which I'll just do manually because most of these have a front panel switch, or I could put something on the floor. And at any time, I can just switch over, bam, 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 and then choose which cabinet I want to do. It's awesome. So, there we go. There's a little sound. So right now, I'm patched into the second cab option, which is the 2 Note Studio, which I'm still learning. I just got it. So I just have it on, I think it's a recto cab, which sounded pretty big and full. I'll switch over to the real cab later. So I've got Brown Eye here. And I can switch over to the Dirty Shirley side if I wanted to. Or I could go over to the Demeter, which I think, where am I at? I'm on channel 1 here. And then I've got 3 options here, channel 2, and channel 3. Over to the Matchless. So that has another switch for channel switching. Right now I only have channel 2 hooked up. the sort of dirtier of the two channels. 4 is a Triaxis. And actually, I'm going to switch the mode of the power amp. And now I could go over the Soldano into the 290. And I still have all my pedal board options, which is nice. I think there was a minute there I didn't hit any notes. It was just no notes actually came out there. And I could go, let's see, I could go over to the Matchless. Take the fuzz off. Maybe put some EP booster in there. Come on. Yeah, maybe that was a little too much. More fuzz. So that's awesome. Now switching back, I could go do another cab. Let's see. I'll go to the Triaxis. Kill that stuff here. Four. I got to do some labeling, but this is kind of new. I just wanted to show you a little bit. Okay, so that's sort of like presence and depth thing on the power amp that I keep messing with. Let me switch over to a real cab. Or you could have them both and track them at the same time, which is pretty cool. But I'm not gonna. Pretty awesome. Or back to the Soldano 3. More gain. More gain, less mids. simple, and, you know, any combination thereof. 2 notes. It's going to be tons of fun. Getting some new furniture in here, so everything's going to be nice and tight, consolidated. And yeah, I'll show you more of the 2 notes in another video, and once I get all this updated, I'll give you a peek. Thanks for watching. See you.